Hello everybody, Biff here. Time for another quick status check-in on the ISD scenery element that I'm in the process of modifying before paint. Last time we spoke, I was in the process of installing magnets between the riser and the actual support column. I have completed that, and as you can see, I now have two flush-mounted 3/8 inch diameter rare earth magnets. Again, one on the support column and one on the bottom of the riser. And I got a real nice, good force, good magnetic force there. The riser really doesn't want to, as you can hear. It's the bottom support making a bunch of noise on the table. So it's not really going to go anywhere. It might rotate a little bit. I'm not too terribly worried about that. I am trying to push it up as close as I can to this front kind of anchor point. But if it rotates a little bit, I'm not as worried about that, as of course it falling off to either one side or the other once the antenna array structure is on the top. In order to countersink the magnets, I used the special drill bit on my drill press. It's called a Forstner bit. I think I'm going to actually do a Biff's bit on how to flush mount these, so stay tuned for an episode that'll talk about that subject. I'm going to slide this one out of the way because another item of note that I picked up on while I was doing this work, here's the other support column, again with the magnet, a nice real tight fit. But when I was working on this support column, I noticed that this guy took a little damage. I honestly don't know if this damage occurred while it was being shipped over to me, or if maybe I bumped it or hit the table or something. It really doesn't matter. But this piece right here has broken off. It's supposed to look just like this, but this piece right here is broken off. So I'm going to actually attempt to make a repair to this so that I've got a nice even look along this entire edge. So I'm taking a shot. We're going to do this kind of a little bit in real time. You guys are going to see how well this all works out. But I'm going to try and replace this cast plaster portion to make it just look like this, and my idea involves using some modeling clay. I've got some of this Sculpey modeling clay. It's the type that you can mold into whatever shape you'd like, and then you throw it in the oven and it hardens. So it stays soft until you bake it. So here's the modeling clay. I've been kind of working with it for a little while, and I took a measurement as to how thick these little supports are. They're 3/16 of an inch thick. So what I needed to do was take a bunch of that modeling clay and kind of smash it and make a really nice flat piece of clay. So what I did is I found some 3/16 inch balsa scrap that I had left over from all of my RC airplanes. So this piece is 3/16 inch thick. Put it onto this thick plywood board. Put the modeling clay that's all nice and soft, and then I took another piece of plywood and I just literally smashed it down until I had a real nice flat 3/16 inch piece of modeling clay. And then I cut it so that I had a nice square angle, and going back over to my model, I basically laid a piece of clay right alongside of one of these existing supports and just used an X-Acto knife to lightly scribe the clay so I knew where to make my cut. So now I could trim what will wind up being a replacement piece, and you can see my two replacement pieces right here. So I cut these out. These guys have not been baked yet. I wanted to get all this stuff captured on film. Got to keep J-Bot happy, you know how that goes. So I'm going to go throw these things in the oven. Hopefully they won't shrink too much. But we'll get these things nice and hard. And then I think what I'm going to do is sand away the support that's remaining. Sand this guy away. Maybe use my Dremel or something. And then try to glue a new support in place. We'll see how it goes. So stand by for the next update. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hey guys, it's Biff again. This is just a real quick status update. I have baked my extra pieces. These guys are out of the oven and they've cooled off. a lot. They're not even warm to the touch anymore. They are very, very hard, which is perfect for what I want to do. So, oh, and I'll hold one up in comparison to an existing flange. So, kind of tuck it right in there. It looks an awful lot like the original. So I'm really, really happy with the end result. So next step is I'm going to go ahead and grind off the damaged flange, if you will, the support, angled support. I'm going to use a Dremel to accomplish that. I'm going to try this sanding tip. I've usually used these on wood, but I think it'll be just fine on plaster. So we'll give that a go. And once I get this area somewhat flush, I'll start working on this piece. So once this area is kind of flush, I'll start working on this piece so that I get a real good, nice mating between the two pieces. That way I'll have a really great surface for the glue to bond the two pieces together. So I'm going to spare you all the detail of me sanding away, but we'll come back when I'm done sanding off this flange. So see you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I've done the rough sanding on the support, the column, to eliminate what was left. There was a damaged flange right in this area, damaged flange right in that area. It's been ground down now, roughly, using the Dremel. There's still a little bit there. But, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my small metal files, and I'm just going to lightly go over that area to try and really true it up. Hopefully with the way the light kind of catches on it, you'll see there's still a little bit of surface area there. So I'm going to go ahead and work on it just a little bit with my file, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to mate it up to one of the two pieces that I've just pulled out of the oven. So, be back shortly. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. I've done the fine sanding that I think is necessary to get to get my new piece to mate really well with the column. So I think that has been done. I used, as I mentioned, I used a small metal file that happened to be the same width as the flange that I'm installing. So I used this to kind of lightly polish, and then I actually did do a little bit of shaping on the new flange, and I just used this emery board to accomplish that, laying the emery board down on the table and then running the new flange across it. So I think I've got myself two really good mating surfaces. So now I can go ahead and glue it in place. I'm going to use CA glue, super glue, in order to bond the two surfaces. I'm going to try to lightly etch the plaster and the new flange just a little bit using the file on the support and the emery board on the flange in a circular motion, just to lightly score the surface so that the glue's got something more to adhere to than just a really smooth surface. Again, just trying to shoot for a really nice glue bond. So I'll get all that stuff set up and let it dry, and we'll take a look at it when she's all set up. Thanks. Okay, so I'm back. I have glued the new flange in place, and I have to say that I'm very, very happy with the final result. I realize it's slightly a different color than the original plaster, but of course I'm going to be painting this, so that's, you know, irrelevant. But I'm thrilled. It looks just like it was supposed to. It sits really well on the table, so I got the placement right. I just really couldn't be happier with the final end result. So yay, I'm looking forward to moving on. Can't wait to paint this. So the next thing on the agenda will be to put some magnets on the top of the riser, because again, I want to have the antenna structure which lays across, it has 2 feet that lay across the riser. I want to anchor those. So I'm going to experiment with a couple of the different magnets that I have, try to figure out what might be the most secure but still be aesthetically pleasing, and go from there. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to help us continue improving and expanding our channel's content.